Hello, everybody, and welcome to Summer House with Sam. I am your host, Sam Ayala, and today, once again, we are here at Mousetrap Fitness, the home of CrossFit Mousetrap. Guys, if you're not familiar with CrossFit Mousetrap, you absolutely should be. It's located in beautiful Lake Buena Vista, Florida, and if you're wondering where is Lake Buena Vista, Florida, well, basically, it's the Disney side of Orlando, okay? If you're going to be visiting Disney World, Universal, any of the resorts, any of the parks here in town, guys, you want to get a good workout, please come on into Mousetrap Fitness, home of CrossFit Mousetrap. We'd love to see you. Let's get fit together. Now, I am very excited because my guest today is the one and only author, Ms. Kourtney Howell. Hello, Kourtney. How are you today?
I'm good.
I'm doing very well.
A bit nervous, but
No need to be nervous. Guys, if you're not familiar with Kourtney Howell, I'm going to give you a little feedback. I know Kourtney because of the one and only Mousetrap Fitness, home of CrossFit Mousetrap. How long have you been a member of Mousetrap?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years? Where's the time go? How is, and I apologize to anybody listening or watching, how is your CrossFit journey going so far?
It's been really good.
Yeah?
It's changed my life. I was going to a different gym before I came here, and it was more of like the boot camp style.
No barbell movement, nothing like that?
No, just dumbbells and a lot of body weight.
Okay.
So I appreciate this being so different and focusing on strength. But yeah, it's been good. I've trained for the half marathon since I've been here, and I think now I'm working on regaining my strength from that. But I've loved it.
Let me ask you about that half marathon, because if you're listening or watching and you're not familiar with CrossFit culture, it is a belief or an old wives' tale, however you want to take it, that CrossFitters hate running. Would you agree with that?
I think so. If you asked me a year ago, I would say yes.
Okay.
I don't think I would say yes today.
How?
I think part of it is training in a way where you feel confident and you don't feel like you're dying whenever you run. It allowed me to be more appreciative of running, and I could sustain it for a lot longer.
So it benefited your running.
Yeah.
CrossFit benefited your running.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I love that we're having this conversation. So what was this your first half marathon, first of all?
I did the Disney half.
Yeah, Disney half. Was it the January? Now, guys, if you're not familiar with Marathon Weekend, right?
Oh, yeah.
You should absolutely look it up. Not only do the parks get crazy busy because everybody comes in, you have the 5K, you have the 10K, you have the half marathon, and you have the full marathon, and you also have the Dopey Challenge, as well as the Goofy Challenge, which I believe the Goofy is the 2 longer races, the half and the full, and then the Dopey is all 4 races in 4 days. That's right. I think that's right, yeah. And it's always such a good time. You get to run through the parks, which is awesome. I only did it just to run down Main Street.
It is one of the most surreal moments of my life. And I'll never forget, because I made a running playlist of songs that would help me stay motivated. But before I turned the corner to go into Magic Kingdom, Titi Mi Pregunto from Bad Bunny started playing.
I love it.
And that was
I'm singing a bit of it.
Oh, maybe at the end.
Okay, at the end. All right, it's worth the wait, guys. If you're listening, it'll be worth the wait. So it started playing as you were coming into Magic Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did that do to you?
Oh, I was hyped. And then you see all the people, like the hundreds of people cheering everybody on, and then that in my ear. It was great. It was a great time.
That's awesome. And I love that you had such a positive experience with it. And I do know when you're focused, especially something like a longer run like that, it has to be on the running. So sometimes things like lifting heavy might have to get put to the side for just a little bit, but I'm glad you're back at it. It makes me so happy. And just your progress is amazing. And I know we literally see each other close to 5-6 days a week sometimes. And just every time I see you, I'm like, yes, all right, let's do this. My apologies for anything I may say or do during the middle of class, because I know I get a little off the wall sometimes, but it's only because I get excited. I don't know if you've noticed, I tend to get excited for our members during workouts, and sometimes I get more excited than it seems that you guys do.
It's good because we feed off that. So it's good that you have the energy. You bring it forward.
No, I try. Again, I've had times where I'm like, maybe I should tone it down a little bit. And I do, and that lasts about 45, 50 seconds maybe, and then I'm right back at it because I can't control it. I just enjoy it so much. Now,
Mhm.
Once we discussed CrossFit, Mousetrap, running, let's talk about you specifically. Now, I literally just found out before we started recording that you're not originally from Orlando.
No.
And I really thought you were.
No.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Brunswick, Georgia.
Where's Brunswick?
Because growing up there, I'm like, oh, everybody knows about Brunswick. But being outside of Brunswick, I'm like, oh, nobody knows about Brunswick. It's about 45 minutes south of Savannah.
Okay.
And Savannah tends to be a good landmark.
Yeah. Born and raised Brunswick?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you end up here?
So we came down here mostly for family. Well, really, that was like the main reason we came.
You do have family that lives here in Florida?
Yes.
Okay.
So my sister and I, who is also a member at Mousetrap,
Shout out to Lindsay, right?
but we both went to school at Georgia Southern University,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is 45 minutes north of Savannah in Statesboro.
Did you live in Brunswick and commute, or did you move to
I
school?
moved. Yeah, I
okay.
moved. So after we graduated, we were different years, but we both moved to Atlanta, or like outside of Atlanta. But anybody who is from Atlanta knows it's easier to just say you're from Atlanta. So I lived there for about 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then she moved down to Orlando before I did, but our mom had moved to Fernandina by Jacksonville.
Okay.
And
North or south of Jacksonville?
I think it's north because it's like right at the Georgia
line.
line.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's more like extra South Georgia than
It basically.
that whole area. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So she moved there, and then
So my mom was in Fernandina, Lindsay moved to Orlando, and then we moved to Orlando about a year after they got here.
and it's specifically you said, let's go down there and try it out. We have family in the area. Let's go for it.
Yeah, because after my sister left Atlanta, we had like no one else there. It was just me and my husband Jimmy. Shout out Jimmy. And so yeah, we wanted to be closer to both of our families.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you see Lindsay regularly.
Oh yeah.
I saw just a few hours ago. You guys were both in here. But do you guys visit your mom a lot? Does she visit you guys here in Orlando?
It's a lot more frequent than it was when we were in Atlanta. We probably see our mom anywhere between 5 and 10 times a year.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
5 and 10 is really good, especially as an adult, especially being married. You have your life, you have your work and everything else. So, no, that's great. I feel bad now.
No, don't feel bad.
And what's your mom's name?
Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, how you doing? Thanks for listening. Be sure to click like and subscribe. All right, so we found out you're originally from Georgia. You moved to Orlando. And when you moved here, were you already writing? Were you already in the profession of writing?
I wasn't.
What were you doing?
I was a teacher.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I don't think an educator.
Yeah.
Awesome. What did you teach?
I taught 4th grade for 3 years and 3rd grade for 1 year. 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm over here doing math. All right, so you were a teacher for a total of 4 years. And what happened to make you stop teaching?
Being a teacher is one of the hardest jobs in the entire world.
1%.
Mad respect.
Yeah.
I was not compatible with that profession. I have like my master's degree and everything in it, but it put me in the worst headspace I've ever been in my life. My mental health was awful. In Atlanta, I was given some pretty rough behaviors in my classes, but the staff was incredible. But it was really draining to be around some of the things that I had to be around during the day. I mean, it was like I would go home and cry myself to sleep every night, like awful. It was awful. So moving to Orlando, I at that point didn't think that I would continue teaching, but I didn't have anything else lined up, so I was just like, we'll just see how it goes. And it's weird because moving here, my class was incredible. Like I had the most amazing students, but then the staff, I couldn't understand how so many people could just seem like they hated kids as much as they did.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Hated the actual students.
Yeah.
Wow. That's, I think, really surprising. What is one thing that most people outside of the industry, outside of teaching in general, don't realize? What is one thing that would really shock people, do you think? That, what you just told me, that so many teachers dislike the students?
yeah. People have like all these thoughts when it comes to education. It's like, for me, you just are like I was so absorbed in the worst way with that profession. And it was just all consuming. I mean, the things that you experience in the classroom, it's hard to turn that off whenever you get home, whether it be the way you were treated by a student or students coming up to you telling you really terrifying things that are happening at home. And just also the expectations that are on teachers to be therapists for their kids.
Absolutely.
Get the best grades for those kids. If you're not, something's wrong with you. Or all the blame gets put on the teacher, and it's just so much more than that. It was really hard.
4 years total. But after those 4 years, how did you have the realization that, hey, this isn't right for me and this is actually negatively affecting me?
So I started going to therapy in 2020. The therapist that I was working with at the time was actually a counselor at a high school nearby, but her position was working with students, like seniors, to plan their futures and their careers. So I feel like being with her, it was perfectly placed because I was in that transitional period. So she was able to give me a lot of guidance on what to do next. And great, because then I could tell her all these things that were happening in the classroom, and she was like, I know. Yeah. There was one day where I was with her and I was like, I can't do this anymore. She had me talk about hobbies or things that I really enjoyed, just to see what would happen. And I would list whatever things, I don't remember them all at this time, but whenever I started talking about writing, she was just like, everything about you completely lit up. And she was like, just try it. Just like get some words on a page, see what happens. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I wasn't even a reader at this time.
Okay.
Like, I struggled with reading so much as a kid. I was always like 2 grade levels behind the grade that I was in. So I think just naturally I was turned away from reading because I felt so discouraged whenever I tried. Started writing words, and I wouldn't even be able to tell you the genre that I was writing. Maybe like memoir, mystery kind of thing. I was weird.
Do you remember the first thing you wrote?
I think I was aiming for a novel at the time that required, or in like anything. And
Something about being naive to the whole process, right?
So
You don't
naive.
realize how difficult it is.
And to any of the writers who might listen, like I started with the character waking up, which is a major no-no. They're like that. There are a few no-nos when it comes to writing, and if you can avoid your character waking up,
So like
one.
they were asleep, they were sleeping,
yeah, the alarm goes off.
and they wake up.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't even remember, like, I kind of remember the idea, but I won't go into the
Okay,
idea,
no
but-
problem.
But I was so proud of it. It was like 20 pages, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be an author. It's crazy. And I remember taking it to my partner teacher at the time. She was an avid reader. And I like printed all these pages out at school. I handed them to her, and I was like, if you want to read it, that would be so awesome. And she got back to me at the end of the day, and she was like, I can definitely tell it's a first draft, but keep trying. And I
Okay.
was like, okay.
Okay.
So this isn't as good as I think it was. Which
Maybe it just wasn't for her.
Oh no, it wasn't for anybody.
I appreciate your honesty. I really, really do that. All right. So you wrote that, and after your 20 pages, even after the feedback, when did it click that I want to do this?
So there was a moment, I believe the summer before I started my final year of teaching, but that was whenever I picked up reading in 2022. I was reading a Colleen Hoover book, and I know there are so many opinions about Colleen Hoover, but she literally has changed my life. So I read that, and then I devoured pretty much every single Colleen Hoover book that she's published at the time. And reading those, I was like, I think that I can do this. I think that I can try. I was pulling back like all the conversations I'd had with my therapist, and I took time off from writing. I would like write poems or something here and there, but I was focused on teaching and didn't really have time outside of the classroom to do that. But whenever I finished that school year, so 2023, I was like, okay, I'd already had all the conversations with my husband. I wasn't going to be going back.
And that's the part, if you don't mind, I really want to focus on that, because I think a good support system is much more important than people even realize. If I may, I just want to ask specifically, did you plan a conversation with him, like I want to sit down and talk to you about something? Or had you already been having dialogue regarding the whole situation?
Oh, we had been having dialogue for years at that point. No matter what I did, I think we both acknowledged that me staying and teaching was not sustainable for my mental
So
health.
you both understood and you both agreed.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
check that off the list.
Yeah, no matter what, I wasn't going to be going back to that. But going to writing instead kind of changed our plans because there's no income yet.
Right.
For writing. So it changed what those conversations started to look like. But I'm forever grateful for Jimmy. I would not be doing anything. I would not have made it as far as I've made it today without him. So grateful.
Do you let him read, or do you have him read your works?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I get so excited about the books. And so even whenever I finish like a chapter, I will like run over to his office and be like, can I read this to you? Jimmy is not an avid reader either. So we have found this routine of just me reading my stories to him, which I honestly really enjoy because it lets me see it through a different lens whenever I'm reading it out loud versus just like reading it in my head. And it lets me find things that are wrong or like plot holes or anything like that, or grammatical errors. So it's good. And I love sharing my work with him because he's also so helpful with plotting. He's helped me plot almost all of my books.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll finish one and then I'll get this idea and I'll ask him, like, can we sit down and try to plot out a new story? And it's awesome.
If you haven't looked up Kourtney, she is absolutely on Instagram, right?
K.R. Howell _writes.
Writes. WRITES. And in that bio, it mentions that you're chasing traditional publishing. Can you explain that to us?
Oh, yeah. So,
what's that sound like? What is that like?
brutal. Traditional.
That's a great word, by the way.
Yeah. So rewarding, eventually.
Worth the hassle.
Yeah. So for publishing, there are really two main journeys writers can take. It's the self-publishing or traditional publishing. Self-publishing is what it is. Like you are in charge of all of it. You are publishing it all, paying for it all. Your own advocate, own marketer, all that. Traditional publishing is whenever you go through, you get a literary agent, which would be, there are some parallels to a literary agent versus like somebody who helps you with like acting, like that sort of agent. Like they're your liaison, they're your advocate, they like get you the deals and things like that. They fight for you, they read all your books, they're your editor. They help you edit. For traditional publishing, the steps are you write the book, you get an agent, you work with that agent to get your book publish ready. Then your agent will pitch it to publishing houses and editors who are acquiring books at publishing houses. You work with that editor, and then it gets on shelves. That is how I interpret the process.
And have you been in contact with any of these literary agents?
Yes. So to get a literary agent, you go through this process called querying. And your query is kind of like the application for your book. Like if you think about it like you're applying for a job, your query is the application and you're sending it to all the agents who would be like the job itself. You literally
fill like out a form kind of thing?
So your query letter is in a lot of ways similar to what's on the back of a book, like the blurb. You're trying to pitch your book to them to make them want to read it and want to take you on as a client. Except there are like, you add like your word count of your story and like the genre and if it has multiple POVs and different titles on the shelf, we call them comp titles or comparable titles, just to give the agent an idea of like, if this were already a published book, this is who it would sit by. Usually whenever you're querying and sending these out to agents, you'll send a query, you'll send a synopsis, which is like a detailed outline of your book, start to finish, all the spoilers, everything that happens, but it has to be like less than 1,000 pages, which is so hard because our books are like, my book is like 82,000 words. It has to be less than 1,000 words.
It can't be more than 1,000 words.
Correct. It shouldn't be. It can be, but you want to give them less. Okay, so then the synopsis. And then a lot of them will have different preferences on what you send. So some of them will be like, send me your first 5 pages of the manuscript, or 10 pages, or 3 chapters, 50 pages. So you have to be ready for all of that. And so you send that whole query package, and then you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait.
This sounds very subjective.
Oh, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it just needs to get in front of the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, of course, but do you mind if I ask, how many have you submitted? To how many agents?
So I've sent a total for my 4th manuscript that I'm querying, called He Haunts Me Not. I've sent about 125 queries. I will leave my other stats quiet for now,
Okay.
just in case anybody happens to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so of that, I have heard back from probably 80 of them.
How do you keep your spirits up?
It's really hard some days, to be totally honest with you. I've had plenty of days in the 3 years that I've been writing and been in the query trenches, is what we call it, where I have wanted to give up. But I think those days where you're feeling really low and feeling like you're getting a lot of negative responses, those are some of the best days to work on a new project, because you regain your confidence, or you remember why you enjoy it so much. To me, I feel like working on something new is the best way to keep my spirits high.
Let me ask you this, because on your IG profile, it also mentioned that you specialize, let me make sure I got this right, in adult paranormal romance.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, can you please tell us about the genre?
Yeah. Twilight.
I apologize, because I've heard of Twilight. I've heard of Twilight.
That's a
How did you end up in the genre yourself?
Okay, that's a good question. Not all of my manuscripts are paranormal romances. I've written 2 contemporary romances, which are just like modern day, like real world, real life romances, and then 1 hockey romance. And
Did you say hockey?
I did.
Like the sport hockey?
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, we'll come back to that.
And then my 4th and 5th manuscript are paranormal romances. And just to clarify, paranormal romance is like vampires, ghosts, werewolves, witches in a real world setting.
Okay.
So the difference between paranormal and like fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, is that you have those fantastical creatures in a fantastical world. With paranormal romance, to my understanding, it is like a fantastical or supernatural creature, but in like a real world, like where we are today.
Okay.
So I started writing paranormal romance because with my 3rd manuscript, which is a contemporary romance, I queried about 65 agents, which nowadays is like still baby numbers. But a lot of the feedback, if I got any, was that it wasn't a unique enough story, and that the market is really oversaturated for just contemporary romances without some really unique hook. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to change something, because this isn't working, and I need to try to think outside of the box a little bit to come up with a more marketable idea.
Right.
Yeah, I have this whole list on my computer that I try to keep updated of like everything that I've ever experienced in my life.
Wow.
Jobs that I've had, like anything that might help me later on down the road to plot a book. But fun fact, whenever I was in college, I worked at a funeral home.
Oh, wow.
Which is so random.
Okay. All right. Because, you can't just drop a bombshell like that. All right. Okay. All right. We're going to have to pause. In college, you worked at a funeral home.
I did.
What did you do there?
So I worked like accounting. I was in the offices.
Okay.
Jimmy's aunt was like a big boss for the funeral home, and she needed an assistant. And I was working at a movie theater in Statesboro at the time, and I was not having fun with that. She invited me to come work alongside her just on the weekends, but I was getting like double pay of what I was getting at the movie theater. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll do that. I don't care.
2 days, yeah.
So yeah, I did that for about a year. Just again, working in the offices, but I would like still have to, like walk around when funerals were happening. I got to go, using air quotes there, into the embalming room to see what that's like. Quite a strange experience.
So, but it obviously impacted you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so how did you take that and transfer it over into your writing?
So for He Haunts Me Not, the protagonist, Alice, is a funeral home director. So I was able to take my knowledge that I had of working at a funeral home and give that to her to kind of run the plot of that story.
As an artist, which is what you are, it is really scary to put your art out there.
Yeah.
Because we never really know the feedback that we're going to get. We're hoping it's positive. Many times it's not. So at what point did you decide to just be like, hey, this is my work of art. I am going to share it with the world and we'll see what we get. Is there no fear there?
Oh, there's tons of fear. It is, no matter how much I write, receiving feedback is gut-wrenching. It is a jump scare. It's hard. But I think trying to go into feedback with an open mind has been helpful, because even if people say things that aren't quite so nice about my stories, which they have, it's still making me stronger in a way. And I think a lot of the time, the feedback is coming from a good place. And I will almost always consider any feedback that is given to me. Will I implement it? Not always, but I'll at least consider it.
Have you thought, what if my audience hasn't even been born yet?
I mean, it's definitely a fear the day that I get published that my reviews are awful. However, they always say that there's this platform that a lot of readers use called Goodreads, and you can add your books there, leave reviews, things like that. They always say that Goodreads is for the reader. Goodreads is not for the author. And I think that you have to have the motivation and the passion to want to continue to write. You are never going to make all people happy. That there's no matter, you could write the next Lord of the Rings and there's still going to be somebody out there who's like, this sucks.
Flat. I mean, yes. Yeah. There's always that person.
There's
right?
always that. But I think that, I mean, I don't have a book published yet, so who knows what's actually going to happen. I'll probably be on Goodreads every weekend, but
even though you're not supposed to be,
exactly,
right, as an author.
But my perspective now is that I think it would be important to set a boundary to let that continue to be for the readers, and I can just focus on my craft.
I don't know if you've ever heard content creators talk about you should never read the comments.
Yes.
Is it similar on Goodreads as an author?
Yes, because you do like a 1 to 5 star review, and then people will leave like dissertations of a review for these books.
Isn't it amazing how they do that? Like, wow, you must have a lot of time to really break down the entire book. Chapter 1, let's talk, right? No, again, it's there for a reason. I get it. But I can only imagine how challenging it could be. And that actually leads me into my next question, which is, and this is super basic, but what is your goal as an author? What do you want to happen?
I think that it's always going to change.
Initially, what would it be?
Yeah. To start off, I would just like to have a book on the shelf for readers through traditional publishing. I mean, I think my like lifetime goal would be to be a New York Times bestselling author. That would be incredible.
You want that? I want it for you, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's put it out into the ether, right? Into the universe. It's going to happen.
Well, what if I stop writing?
Keep doing it. Oh, those are some of your goals, right? Is that what you define success as?
I think that's part of it. Success is, if the goal is to get a book on the shelf for now, I would say as long as I can do that while still maintaining a healthy headspace, then I think that would be successful.
And what is the most common reaction people have when you tell them you're a writer?
Most times people are like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Everybody has been so supportive, to be honest. It's amazing. Whenever I tell them I write, they're like, oh, that's awesome. But the other part of that reaction, and I think the caveat, and I'm so grateful for the support, but then they follow up with, well, where can I buy your books? And right now, there's not one.
Currently, but we're on our way. It's in the ether.
Yes. So yeah, I feel like I go through that little exchange with people often. Like even even through drive-throughs, we've been they ask us what we do or something like that. And
Time out. Like a drive-through at a restaurant? Like drive-through
it
window?
has happened. I know it has happened at Chick-fil-A and it has happened at Dutch Bros because the people at Dutch Bros are amazing. That is like some of the best staff ever.
Again, not sponsored by Dutch Bros, but if you want to contact me, please feel free.
Please.
Summer House with
I will
Sam.
drink all your coffee and support you hardcore. Because I got a book recommendation from somebody who was handing us our food at Chick-fil-A, and he asked what we did. But at Dutch Bros, I go in the morning, so then they're just like, oh, what are you doing today? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go home and work. And they're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a writer. And they're like, no way, we're going to buy your book. That has happened at least like 3 times, I think, at Dutch Bros.
When you tell them, well, currently not on a shelf, but we're working on it,
Yep.
what is the response then?
Like, well, I'd love to get it whenever. Let me know whenever it's there. Or some people have asked to follow me on social media to keep up with the process.
Again, what is that IG?
Kourtney Howell _ writes with a W.
And that is HOWELL.
Yes.
Yeah. KR
KR.
Howell _
Right.
writes with a W. I know when we first met here at Mousetrap Fitness, home of CrossFit Mousetrap, you told me that you were a writer, and I'm sure my reaction was very similar. I'll be honest, I don't necessarily remember,
Sweet.
but I think it's great. Again, I'm a big supporter of the arts. So when anyone has taken that leap, you have to be bold to be an artist, to be a successful one. You could go and dabble, whether it's just writing a few pages here and there, or whether you're a painter. Heck, if you're doing art with Legos, right? But you have to commit.
I treat writing like a 9 to 5. So even if I don't come to the gym in the morning, I'm usually sitting at my computer around 9 o'clock. I'm working until 5. I don't always have a manuscript that I'm writing, but those days or those weeks or those months, I take that time to really try to give back to the community of writers and review their work or review their query letters.
And how did you get in contact with other writers?
So whenever I was first getting started in this, I had no idea what I was doing. I found this author who had this boot camp. Her name's Lauren Kay. She's a YA author, young adult.
Young adult. That one I knew.
Yes.
That one I knew.
But she had created this boot camp for new writers, specifically ones who are trying to go through traditional publishing. And so I paid for the boot camp, but with that, I was able to get access to a Slack account. And I'm still in it. And it's filled now. I don't even know how many people, but that's really where that started. And I made some connections there. Actually, like some of my closest friends that I have in the writing community, I met through there, and we meet every week, and they're my little critique group.
Do you want to give any shout outs to those?
Yeah, Jen, Mary Kate, Ashley. We have Mary
what?
Kate and Ashley. I know.
Jen, Mary Kate, Ashley. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello. And were you happy with the boot camp?
Oh, so happy. It changed my life.
Okay.
I don't think that I would be anywhere in this querying process if I didn't have that to start with. It goes over like what a query letter is, how to write one, how to write a synopsis. It goes over like there's like a LinkedIn equivalent for writers. It's called Query Tracker. Oh. So like she goes over like all the gadgets of that website and how to use them. It was such a great introductory course, and I met my friends through there too. Sure. Jen, Mary Kate, and Ashley. But since then, now my community has expanded so much.
How so?
Instagram.
Oh, IG. Yeah.
It is literally the best.
Are you on Book Talk?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've tried to do like TikTok. I just don't feel like you get the same reach as you do. That's been my experience. But I at least like see all the videos. I try to interact, but I don't post too much.
Now, I'm always fascinated with cultures and subcultures, and just the fact that there's this obviously book community, writers community. Let's go back to Jen, Mary Kate, and Ashley, just because I think that sounds awesome. But that leads me to my next question. Who do you trust to review your work?
They are my people. They're my like first line of defense. They get it at pretty much the same time. So like if I finish something, I will upload it to a document for them and then go run to the till. Go read it to Jimmy. But they're incredible. They are so helpful with their feedback and just genuinely like some of the nicest people I've ever met. So very grateful for them.
I've heard writers describe their voice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you find your voice?
I think voice, it's something that develops over time. I think it is a blend of you individually as a person and what you consume as a reader.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my characters are always like sarcastic and stubborn. Like I try to make them like quick-witted, and it's like that's something that's consistent with my voice. But I think like the beauty of it with like figurative language and the way I describe things and interiority, I think that has just developed over time as I've written more. But I try to read for research too,
Mm-hmm.
and figure out like, oh, this author said this in such a beautiful way. Like, for example, I was reading, I think it was in Shield of Sparrows that I'm reading right now. But there is like a bit of language that she used the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm going to probably use that one day. Because it was like her, like, the character's emotions were at war with each other. And like, I don't know, something like that. It's like, it's so beautiful. But I think reading is one of the best ways that you can discover your own voice.
Do you draw not only from other people's works, you know, kind of getting inspiration, but do you draw from your everyday life as well?
Oh, for sure.
Is there an amazingly thin 50s brown man with glasses at any point in your story? And if
It
not,
might
what?
be.
Yeah, it might be. I'll have to read it. I'll have to read it to find out. No, but do you pull from your everyday?
I do.
In what way?
I think like pulling from your real life is how you get some of the most authentic writing. Because you can really like channel that emotion that you have toward that event or toward that person and put it into your work. This most recent manuscript I finished, which is a vampire paranormal romance. But a lot of that story is about the relationship between an older sister and a younger sister. And I was able to take the strong relationship I have with my sister and put that into the book and put that into those characters.
Okay, so you're trying to use your everyday, your real world life, right? Again, air quotes. I love using them when people are listening, which is amazing, right? But if you're watching, guys, here are the air quotes. Now, have you ever had someone tell you, don't use me in a story. I don't want to be in your book?
Surprisingly, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a character, unless it's a negative character. When you're writing a specific character, okay, you're in the zone, flow state, right?
Yes.
So you're in the flow state, you're going, and you're writing as that character, right? The dialogue, okay? Has the flow state ever been so strong that as you're writing, you're surprised by what the character is doing?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would say that's happened more so the more experience I've gotten as a writer. I think a lot of that comes down to trusting yourself as a writer and trusting the characters. Because I think whenever I was in my earlier manuscripts, I was like, I've got this exact plot, I've got to follow it. But now, if characters start to go off script, I'm trying to trust them a little bit more that maybe there's a reason that they're doing that and trying to explore it whenever it happens.
That's so cool. I would love to get freaked out by my own work of art, you know? You're like, wait a second.
I know, yes, you have those moments you're like, oh.
Does it feel like you come to? Like you're, whoa, what was that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And how quickly or how often after you've written a page, let's say, do you go back and you read it?
It depends. Usually I try to get through an entire scene before I go back and reread it. But I think it just depends on like how emotional or how strong I think it is. I can't tell you the amount of times I've like gone back and reread the same like emotional section, just like reading it out loud and like pretending like I'm acting it to like really get into it, make sure like it all hits how it's supposed to hit. I do that so much, but it's one of the funnest parts of writing it.
It sounds pretty great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, just everyday folks who maybe aren't into being artists or just haven't had the opportunity or tried it, what is one thing you wish that more people understood about the process of writing?
there are two things that I wish people understood about this more. First is how hard it is and how much time it takes. And it's not a hobby. It is a profession. It is a job, and it takes a lot of commitment. But I think that there are also a lot of people who have no idea how long things take. Like a book that you could get off the shelf today at Barnes and Noble, that book was probably written anywhere between 2 and 7 years ago, depending on the author. It takes so long. It's like, even if I were to get an agent today and get a book deal today, the earliest my book would be out on the shelves would be in a year. But that's like best case scenario.
We got to get it out by next Christmas kind of thing,
yes,
right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Realistically, would it be, what, 2-3 years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's one piece of advice that you would give yourself, younger writer self?
I would say to just go for it. I think that whenever I was in college, especially, I tried so hard to pick a career where I was going to have financial stability, and I didn't really take into consideration what I enjoyed. And I wish that I would have taken into consideration what I enjoyed, but your little 18-year-old brain can't think that far into the future. But yeah, I wish that I would have taken the chance.
I think that advice could go really a long way for a lot of people. A lot of times we're focused on the numbers. We want to know, how much are we going to make annually? How much am I taking home? I think a lot of times people forget about what they enjoy. And that leads me, and I knew it wouldn't be my last question, but this will be my last question, then we'll move on, okay? How has writing changed you as a person?
I think that it has made me way more resilient. With writing, I am in charge of my whole future at this point. And no matter how many times I get a rejection or how many times I feel like I'm not good enough for it, I have learned to persevere through all of that and become so much stronger. I think it's also helped me mentally in so many ways, whether it be just like doing something I love or being able to take certain traumas or things that I faced in my life and like expressing that on the page. And at this point, it takes so much to hurt my feelings.
Would you consider writing therapeutic?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
It lets you get a lot of the inside out.
Yes, for sure. That's
awesome. And I'm glad to hear that. No, first, I want to say thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. I love this. And I love learning more about people. We know each other, but we don't know each other. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Again, we're limited to the time we have in a class. And believe me, guys, if you didn't know, I'm a talker. Okay. Yeah. I don't shut up, and I apologize to everybody, man, but it's just one of those things. I enjoy getting to know about people. What brought you here, literally got you here to this moment. And I just think it's outstanding. And thank you so much for sharing in your journey and your story with us. And again, I've said it a few times, but if you want that goal, I want it for you, whether it be in here at Mousetrap Fitness, home of CrossFit Mousetrap, located in beautiful Lake Buena Vista, Florida, or if it's going to the Barnes & Noble. And I want to say, do you have the new Kourtney Howell? I was about to say album. Do you have the new Kourtney Howell? Yes, audiobook, right?
Yeah, there you go.
The new Kourtney Howell release. I want it. Get me 2 copies because she's going to sign one of them.
I think like walking into a bookstore and signing that, I should have said that for my goals, because that would be like such a dream to like sneak through the aisle, find my book on the shelf, bring my little pen with me, and then sign all these surprise copies, and a reader gets to pick it up off the shelf and it's like, oh, this one's signed.
Then later I'm watching the news. A young writer was arrested today for vandalizing her own books. No, I think that'd be amazing. So again, Kourtney, thank you so much. And now we have our this or that. Now, guys, if you haven't listened to the first 2 episodes, I highly encourage you to do so. I always like to ask 10 this or that questions. There's no right or wrong answer. However, there actually is. Okay? Kourtney, are you ready?
I'm ready.
This or that. I am going to start a clock right here. 3, 2, 1, go. Harry Potter or Hunger Games?
Harry Potter.
Ooh. YouTube or TikTok?
TikTok.
Memes or emojis?
Emojis.
Laptop or pen and paper?
Laptop.
Yeah. Nickelodeon or the Disney Channel?
Disney Channel.
Ooh, Wicked or Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. The Bachelor or The Bachelorette?
Bachelorette.
Bachelorette. Apple or Samsung?
Apple. The only answer.
People are passionate. Here we go. Friends or The Office?
The Office.
And finally, Britney or NSYNC?
NSYNC.
Ah, okay. I'm adding a bonus one. Kendrick or Drake?
Kendrick.
Yeah, he's got a pull too, you know.
He's amazing.
He is amazing. And recently, a song came on during a workout, and I noticed you singing it. I am such a fan. Guys, Section 80, his first official release album. If you get an opportunity, start there, start to finish, no skips. You got to hear it all. And if you get a chance, listen in headphones. You pick up a lot more. What is one book that you think everyone should read?
Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. If that is not on your list, you need to add it right now. Best series I've ever read.
Fourth Wing?
Fourth Wing.
Fourth Wing by Rebecca
Yarros.
Yarros. All right, you heard it right here from Miss Kourtney Howell herself. Again, Kourtney, thank you so much for joining me here today. It means the world that you'd be willing to come in and share your story, share your journey. I so appreciate it. Guys, if you get an opportunity, please reach out to Kourtney Howell. One more time with the IG.
KR_Howell_writes.
WRITES.
Yeah.
Shout out to our friend Jimmy.
Yes.
Yep. Guys, I have been Sam Ayala. I'm going to continue to be Sam Ayala. That's Miss Kourtney Howell. Thank you so much for joining us today. Guys, this has been amazing. Please click like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.